Okay, so how are you, Matt?
Good. It's been a while. How's life? Did you find a new
Oh,
place to
it's
live?
been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
No, how are you? I see that you're killing it in your channel, buddy.
I wouldn't say I'm killing it, but I'm slowly but surely getting up there, aren't I? Yeah.
Yes,
But
yeah, yes, you have. But there's so much to talk about. I wanted to talk about the Andrew and Virginia and everything that's been going on because that's quite the news, and some stuff that's come out is very, very disappointing about the Queen knowing about it, especially because I love the Queen.
yeah.
So, what do you make of all of this? I want to ask you a couple of questions. Why is Andrew the only one being mentioned when there was a whole ring of people? It gives me the vibes of Ghislaine Maxwell, who's the only one sitting in jail, when there are all these men who allegedly were part of it.
I mean, who can know? You pay more attention to this stuff than me. All I know is the conspiracy theorists have been proved right for the last 25 years. So it does seem like there's a cabal of very rich, powerful people who basically have it stitched up. They run they run all of the organisations that are, tasked with policing this type of thing, don't they? The civil service, the Home Office in the UK, all the corridors of power are owned by body and soul by these rich, powerful people. And I told you this before, like about Harry. The immigration rules don't apply to Harry. If I'd done the stuff Harry had done, they'd have deported me six months ago. So the rules don't apply for them, do they? They've obviously got friends in very high places.
Yeah. Do you think it's friends in high places? Do you think that they're all in it together? So if one snitches, it's like a domino effect. Everybody else falls. Because it is shocking to me, Matt, that people are still thinking. I saw that there's a bill that's going to pass to give the king powers to strip Andrew of the titles, right?
I have heard this. Again, I don't follow the royals quite as closely as you, but I believe they have already stripped him of all of his titles, haven't they?
No, no, they haven't. He agreed not to use them, but
Ah, right, okay,
he's still there.
interesting. Well, the thing with that is, I think that the royal family in the UK are a bit arrogant about it because for decades they were comfortable in the position of power because they knew that the majority of the public supported them. But now the public definitely don't support them in the majority. There's no way. For example, every poll throughout the 80s, the 90s, and the noughties, it was very clearly won by the monarchists. But in the last 10 years, that's changed irrevocably because they've imported people from foreign shores who have no interest in British tradition and culture.
Absolutely.
The likes of Zara Sultana, she was on Twitter yesterday saying, "Oh, let's not just get rid of Prince Andrew, let's get rid of all of them." So it's hilarious to me that it's gonna, they joined in with the globalist cabal, especially Charles. He's just a king sausage fingers. Is just doing as he's told, isn't he? They
Yeah.
joined in with the globalist cabal, thinking it'd save them. But as usual, the powers that be aren't as clever as they think they are because importing 10 million foreigners from Africa and the Middle East and Asia who have no regard at all for British culture and history and tradition is massively going to bite them up the arse. So I feel like they think they can do as they please because they're still. Again, we know this. The powers that be, the movers and shakers, they're all boomers. They're all old people who are stuck in the past, and they don't understand public sentiment. So I think that they're arrogant and they think they can get away with it. We're just doing as the police. Oh, we won't bother getting rid of the titles. We'll just tell him to stop using them and it'll be fine. Well, it won't be fine because now tens of millions of people don't like the monarchy. And even the ones who did like the monarchy, people like me, the sort of soft monarchists, which is the majority of the UK, people who don't love the royal family. I'm not a type of bloke who collects the plates, but soft monarchists, because we're born and raised with them, who were just like, don't upset the apple cart, leave it be. Even we've turned against them because they've made their bed, and it's with the globalist psychos who run the world these days. So I think the royal family is in genuine trouble in the UK.
I've always said that the internet is their enemy, but this is one of the things I wanted to show you, Matt, because I mean, I speak four languages, so granted, maybe I may not get some nuances of the English language. So since you speak English, these were like there were hundreds of petitions asking Parliament to remove the titles from Harry and Meghan when they were doing all the shenanigans, right?
Yeah.
And this is their official response. It says there that the petition was rejected. We're okay on that one, right?
Right.
Why was this petition rejected? It's about honors or appointments. And then they go on, we can't publish petitions about honors and appointments, including asking for people to be given or have titles removed. In any case, the use of royal titles are a matter for Her Majesty the Queen and not the government or parliament. What does that mean to you, Matt?
Again, I'm not a
What are they
staunch
telling
royal.
you? People, they're responding to people who have submitted an official petition to Parliament, asking Parliament to strip the titles, because a lot of people were saying that it takes an act of Parliament to remove the titles, the Duke, because they still stupidly saying that a royal Duke is the same thing as an aristocrat, which is not.
Right, yeah.
Royals are not bound by the Peerage Act. They're not peers, they're royals. And the royal titles are honorary, right? So, but people were wrongly being told to go to Parliament because only Parliament could strip the Duke titles because they're a peer, right?
Right.
So here, this is the official. You can go to. I send you the. This is in the UK Parliament, guys. This is not me from an obscure website. This is Parliament responding to every petition, asking them to remove the titles from Harry, to not be a duke anymore. And they
Yeah.
said it's not up to them; it's up to the monarch.
If you get over 100,000, they have to respond to it, don't they? So
Yeah,
so this is an older one regarding
this is a
Harry and
response
Meghan.
to Parliament because people were asking Parliament because a lot of these royal experts were telling, oh, the Queen can't do it because, of course, it's an act of Parliament. It's an act of Parliament is required. So all these people are going through the trouble of starting official petitions. This is not a GoFundMe petition. It has to be a UK parliamentary petition,
Right.
and they were getting hundreds of thousands. So they were asking because these royal experts were telling them it's only Parliament can do it. It's like a volleyball, so nobody takes action, right? And people they
Yeah.
keep people confused.
Mm.
So Parliament in writing responded, "It is not our thing. This is up to the monarch to remove the Duke titles because they're honorary. All it takes is a letters patent."
Right. Okay. So they're doing what they've been doing over here for years. Like for example, with regards to grooming gang stuff. That's what they're like over here. They're just scumbags. They just pass it around, pass the parcel, and hope the public forgets about it. They're trying to kick the can down the road, and they're saying that it's not really up to us in government and parliament. So the royal family can do as they please. And then they've put some bollocks down below there saying, "Oh, you might be interested to know." So because they're trying to like obfuscate and then make it so no one has to do the obvious. But as you say, it seems to be incorrect, right? Because as far as I'm aware, the royal family in the UK now is like it's a it's a ceremonial role, and they can't stop the government from doing anything, can they?
Well, the thing is, I did interview Mr. Norman Baker. The only thing that the monarch has absolute power over is the royal title, styles, and dignities with a letters patent, which is what George V did when he did a letters patent and saying, you know what, a bunch of you are assholes. You're not going to be prince or princesses or HRH. I'm just going to limit it to this, right? And the next day, after the letters patent went through and was ratified, literally a bunch of people woke up without being prince or princesses or HRH or whatever, because the king decided to limit who can call themselves that, right?
Yeah.
So, and then the queen altered that again in 2012 when she wrote a letters patent saying, you know what, I know that the 1917 says that the other kids from William cannot be known as HRH or prince or princess, but screw that. Well, I'm sure she didn't say that. But you know what she said? She said, no, I want all of William's children to have the HRH, to be entitled to use the HRH style and the prince and princess title. So she made the exception to the 1917 letters patent that governs the use of styles, dignities, and honors. My point is here that this is in writing from Parliament. This is the governing body. If for example, Matt, if they tell you, okay, can you write to SpaceX, to do this, SpaceX human resources, they do this and that, and you write to human resources, and human resources is, sorry, we don't do that. It's this person who does that.
Yeah.
This is in writing. They're telling you. So my point is, why are royal experts not bringing this up, and they're still making it sound like it's so difficult, like it's terrible, like, it's going to take a long time, because that's what Charles answered. It's going to take too long, and I don't want to take up parliament space. He's literally made the monarchy. People hate the monarchy.
Oh, 100%. Well, like I said, the royal family are coasting on fumes, like the majority of people in the UK who are over the age of about 50. They're labouring under the delusion that they can still get away with it. They still think it's the 1980s and they can just do as they please, and they can't. The royal family, again, it's changed in the last sort of 10 years. I used to be a royalist. I used
Yeah,
to be like, yeah. I was a reluctant royalist because, like I said, me granny, they're the types who like collect the memorabilia and watch the royal wedding. The average person was like me, i.e., you're not a massive royalist, but you think it's fine. We can keep things how it is because it's worked for the last 1,000 years. But if they think that's going to stay the same when the world's changed, we now get our media from people like you, from independent journalists. Everybody watches Joe Rogan and gets their minds blown every day instead of just getting the bollocks regurgitated by the BBC and the Guardian. They're living in fantasy land if they think they can keep getting away with it. And people know what's going on now. Charles is in bed with the WEF and the globalist sociopaths. Everybody knows it. His public statements have been about this stuff for years. He's always been on board with Klaus and the boys. So if he thinks he can get away with just taking the piss and doing as he pleases, he's got another thing coming. Like I said, I was not a staunch, but again, a soft monarchist. I had no interest in seeing the end of the monarchy, if only because the communists and the lefties hate it. So I'm cool with that. Well, I'm on. Has Paula gone or have I gone? I have no idea. I'll keep talking on the off chance that, that I'm still online. So yeah, they've got another thing coming if they think they can get away with this because the people have had enough, haven't they? And I think
I am
that
here. I am here. I don't know what's going on with the internet. Sorry about that, guys. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you, but you're
My camera is not out. Yeah, but let's keep talking. That's okay.
yeah, all right. But yeah, anyway, so the public know what's what with the royal family now. The only chance I've got to salvage it is, in my opinion, is to bin Charles ASAP and his donkey-faced missus. Try and get Wills and Kate in there, and then like usher in a new era of transparency or something, because everyone's had enough now. It's preposterous what's gone on. Yeah, and like I said, you can see the average person's had enough, because I was a soft monarchist up until about, I don't know, 2022 or something, and now I'm like, who cares? Who cares? The reason we tolerated them is because we knew how much it annoyed the lefties and the hardcore Republican types, not Republican in the American sense, Republican in the British sense.
Oh
Which
yeah,
is,
yeah, yeah. We have to specify
get rid of,
that.
yeah, it's very different, isn't it?
For
And they're
everybody-
all, yeah, and they're all like, get rid of the royal family, With us, the average working class stiff in the UK is like, I don't watch the royal wedding. I don't particularly care about any of this stuff, but it's worked fine for 1,000 years. And it really, really, really annoys Owen Jones and everybody at the BBC and the Guardian. So I'm all for it. But at this point, I'll join with the commies, me. I will watch while they pull the palace apart brick by brick. So they really need to sort the shit out and get with the program,
Well, it's not
or they're
gonna happen. I
gonna
don't
fall
think it's
foul.
going to happen. Apparently, and then people, the mainstream media went like crazy when I went. By the way, Andrew's still in the royal website. Andrew's
Why?
still a counselor of state to the king.
Yeah, it's mental, innit? It's mental. Oh, the only thing is, Andrew does kind of fit in well with the powerful people that run the UK because about 60% of them seem to be kiddie fiddlers. So at least he fits in with the people running the show. The whole of Parliament. You might not know this, not being from the UK originally, but everyone in the UK knows this. The amount of scandals about like kiddie fiddling and sexual impropriety by British politicians and lords over the last century is genuinely staggering. Some of the statues on the outside of Broadcasting House in the UK are well-known kiddie fiddlers, and the UK just leave them up there. We know that we're governed by scum. That's the big difference between most of the rest of the world. The big difference, the English people are very sensible, and in a lot of the rest of the world, they treat the politicians like rock stars. In the United States, they love them, don't they? All I'm with her, Kamala Harris wearing the merchandise. And even Trump, the Republicans love him. I like the fella, but I don't love him. They're all in it for themselves, ultimately. The British people are very cynical about the leadership. And we know we're governed by scum, the scum of humanity. Politicians are the lowest of the low. I've joked about this before and said if I had to do a pecking order, I'd have normal people, like your average plumbers up there. And then you've got you go down about 20 rungs and you've got parasites like mosquitoes, ticks and leeches. And then you've got lawyers and then you've got politicians. They are the lowest of the low, especially in the United Kingdom. So now the royal family's been lumped in with that lot. They're in serious trouble, aren't they?
Isn't that insane that the royal family are considered more scum than a politician, which is a rat? That's a terrible thing. Because whatever you may say about Queen Elizabeth, she was proud of British customs. She loved, you can see that, she followed tradition because you don't have very many people flying the flag for the UK people, white people, British people, customs. So the Queen was it, really.
I know. It proper annoys me. I seen a video yesterday of him in Yorkshire, pulling down flags, England flags, like in England. I mean, you can joke about it, but surely the UK is the only country in the world, especially England, where people won't even fly their own flags. In France and Germany, there's nothing controversial about flying your flag. Ugh. Don't put old horse face on me. I've just had my breakfast.
Because Camilla is right now with Charles, is in Rome with the Pope, and she decides to show up with that hat to see the Pope, which was like horns, Keep in mind, I am a Catholic. Keep in mind that under the eyes of the Catholic Church, Camilla Parker Bowles is still married to her first husband because they were married in a Catholic Church ceremony. So
yeah.
They had never applied for an annulment of the wedding. So I am so disappointed in the Catholic Church and I'm not a prude. I just want people to understand I'm not a prude, but I can slowly see part of the traditions or something like that. Bloody hell, stick to something.
Yeah.
Basically, understand that under Catholic teachings, Camilla is an adulterer because under the Catholic Church, she is the wife of another man.
I told you, though, the Catholic Church is in the same. This is what I mean, why my mind's been blown the last 25 years. I've gone from Normie, Labour, Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, Trump in a short amount of time. And it's because everyone's noticed now. The world's changed. The internet has changed the world beyond anything. I was having this out with a bloke at work yesterday. We were having a crack about politics. And I said, if you went to school in 1918, it wasn't that different from going to school in 1988. When I was in elementary school, we still got words in a tin, little laminated words in a tin to learn your first words and spelling. We still sat in rows and we rehearsed the times tables. We still read books. There was no phones. There was no such thing as a mobile phone. There was no such thing as the internet. But if you look at 1995 to 2025, it's a different world completely. The entire world was changed by the internet. As naysayers will say, there's always been technological advances. But digital communication changed the world irrevocably forever. And what's happened is it's caught them all flat-footed. And these lunatics who run the world. And they were early adopters of the technology because they think they're always at the forefront. But the problem is, the state's this lumbering behemoth, so it does take time to catch on, right? So what they did was, in the early noughties, when this stuff started taking off, that's when the globalists sort of connected everybody and said, we need to get behind this. But what they didn't realise was, it had become so ubiquitous that people like you and Joe Rogan and even me with my relatively small channel, we do the digging and we see the truth, and people are everywhere. The eyes and the cameras are everywhere. And the state still thinks they can control them all, so they can control the people. So they got in on it first, and this is what like the WEF and the globalists started working together to run everything. But then when it became super ubiquitous and every man and his dog has a camera phone, that's when all started going wrong. And you started seeing, like I said, my favourite example was Joe Biden when he was campaigning in 2020, when he went a red state and someone goes, oh, well, you're not going to take the guns. No, no, definitely not going to take the guns. And then he flies to a blue state the next day and he's going, you're damn right we're going to take the guns. You're damn right we're going to take the guns. And he is the man who's going to do it. You remember that?
Yeah,
Beto came out on a skateboard like the absolute penis that he is. And then the next day he goes back to the Rust Belt and he gets on the stage and he goes, oh, no, we're not going to take your guns. And then he says that's a damn liar. And then one of the construction workers went, oh, really? And he pulls his phone out and goes, look at that. And it's Biden saying, you're damn right, we're going to take your guns. And then they go, oh, and he scuttles off. Sorry, walks off sideways like a crab because he's not a human.
Did he go to the funeral of the Ku Klux Klan? He was a friend of the grandmaster.
Yeah, and now everyone knows stuff like that because the internet's forever, and all it takes is one person to have some obscure footage somewhere. You've got people finding stuff on VHS now. Like there's 8 billion people watching them. You go in your attic with your granny after your granny's funeral. You find an VHS video, and you put it in, and you'll see a clip of like some world leader saying the exact opposite of what they're all over the TV saying now, and they can't hide it. So the pros and cons are both there. The globalist sociopaths have used the internet and the digital era to brainwash and indoctrinate colossal amounts of people. But the fight back's starting because it's now in the hands of normal people. Everyone's got a smartphone now, and they can't hide it forever. And Elon buying X was the snowball rolling down the mountain.
Nightmare. Isn't it terrible, Matt? Because it happens also in something so stupid as in what they consider themselves the Mexican community. I'm not part of that community, but it's like they police what you have to say. I've had people, oh, let's watch Paula, and they tag other YouTubers. You have, it's like, shut up, go on with your life. It's like, are you basically telling me what to say in my channel? Go do whatever you want. I'm going to interview who I want. I'm going to say what I want, like this is why we have freedom of speech. But it's incredible how they try to discredit others, like the royal family. And one of the things that having so much attention, let me see what you think, on Andrew is that, and Fergie, is that it has exposed the rot that was underneath. It was, you know what I mean? Like, I've been talking about this for years and people were trashing me when I said, why the hell is Fergie still at the Royal Lodge? Oh, you hate women. No, it makes no sense. And they always make it emotional. They always say,
ludicrous.
Oh, no, but they always make it emotional. It's because you hate her. You hate her. I'm asking you a serious question, and now it's come out, and I'm going to tell you something, Matt. Now here, this is basically saying that Andrew was paying rent means peppercorn. So you know what I mean? He hasn't paid rent in 2 decades. Yes, he paid the reparations at Royal Lodge, which was one of the conditions for a reduced rent, but he was supposed to pay rent as well.
Do you know what that means, peppercorn rent? I know the answer to that one because I've only just read it recently.
This is why I wanted to.
Yeah. I looked into that when I was trying to buy a place in England. Basically, peppercorn is an ancient. It goes back to antiquity, when they had to charge you something, but they didn't want to charge you a lot, so they charge you peppercorn, which was like a bag of peppercorns or something like it's the equivalent of giving the landowner like a bag of onions once a year for your rent. So you're not giving them it for free, but it's peppercorn. So if you go looking for rent now in England, and you might see peppercorn rent, and it'll be like £800 a year. Like it's a small sum of money. Not tiny, I suppose 800 quid's not. Again, even peppercorn rent's expensive now. I'd rather go and buy him a bag of onions and pay him £800 a year. But basically, if your rent's only like 4 figures a year, it's called peppercorn rent because it goes back to, ancient times when the peasant farmers were renting the land from the barons and the like.
And what do you make that they're trying to make that Charles is helpless to do anything? Okay, this is just my take. It's not that Charles is helpless, but he's complicit. He's been involved in some crap. You know that one of the only videos that YouTube has given me a strike for and took the video down. They won't even allow. You know how they give you the red monetization sticker means you can't monetize it, but you still
Yeah.
get access to the video.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't. I don't have access to the video. And that's because I showed the flight logs where it shows that Charles went to Epstein's Island in November 2001.
Oh, really? And they took that down?
Oh yeah, yeah, it's there. I try to be. It wasn't no ifs, ands, or buts. So I figure I'm gonna download it. I can't download it. It's gone. It's there,
It's
but I
mental,
can't
innit?
download it.
But so again, we all know this is happening now. No one in the chat there is sitting there going, "Whoa, I don't believe that." Everyone knows it's happening
People
because
are
the
still
truth's
telling me,
out
I
there.
don't believe me. Show me your receipts.
Now, well, a
Like,
small number of people. If you pay attention, you know what's happening. Silicon Valley was aggressively left wing. Everyone knew it. And now, since Trumpy Bear won the election, we all know it. They've released all this. It's not just an opinion now. This annoys me when something's a proven fact and they still try and lie about it. It's not just your opinion now, it's a proven fact. Patel and all them now running the Home Department in the State Department in the US have said this. They've all admitted it. They've all conceded it. Zuckerberg's conceded it. Musk's released a load of statistics about it, a load of files. The FBI and the CIA were leaning on and having meetings with all the Silicon Valley types and telling them, you have to take this down. You're not allowed to do this. This isn't conjecture anymore. It's a proven fact. I told you, I got a 2-week ban for reading a Time magazine article.
well, so did I. So did I. I got, let me show you this, guys, so you guys can see this. This is the video. Meghan and Jeffrey Epstein, how close were they? I can't download it. And if I click here, it'll take me to something sending me back to YouTube. And it was removed. Here, removed.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
I can't download it.
And that was just about the Epstein list.
Yeah, it's just because I showed the log of the people, because when that flight log came out, they still allowed it to have all the names.
That's unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable.
And the funny thing is, now I'll send you the flight log. You can still see Andrew AP, and I said that AP was Andrew, Prince Andrew, because they put it like that. Everybody said I was a lie. It just came out in Virginia Roberts' book that indeed AP is Prince Andrew.
Well, I mean, this is why we know this. Anyone who's been doing YouTube for a few years knows it all. You don't need to see the evidence that they're releasing now. Anything to do with the Rona, anything to do with the jabs, anything to do with Biden, anything to do with Hunter's laptop. If you mentioned any of those 4 things and you were a YouTuber, they'd take your channel down. I've been banned. I think I've got banned all in total about 10 times.
Oh God,
but it hasn't happened in the last it hasn't happened in the last year. But at the time, you couldn't say anything. I was like, oh, I'm not getting the jab, and then they're like, ban. Or you say the Time magazine article, it's still up as well. All I did was read the headline and be like, oh, look at this. The article itself was just, oh, here's the coalition of people that we used to stop Trump winning the election. So I'm on there reading a Time magazine article, and that's quite a famous magazine, saying, oh, look at this, turns out they did cheat. And then they not only deleted it, I wasn't allowed on YouTube for 2 weeks. So it's all well known. These scumbags think they can just keep pulling the wool over everybody's eyes, but that's what I'm getting at. I honestly think it's like the plot of a good movie or a good novel. Like, the more the evildoers try and like clamp down on free people, the more the rebels gain traction, because it starts to become a doom loop. The old Rommel quote's dead famous about, you can lie to some of the people all the time, or all the people some of the time, but you can't do both. And that's what they've been doing for the last 10 years, lying all the time to everyone constantly. And the people have woken up and they've had enough of it. So it's all linked. Charlie's in bed with Klaus and Soros and all the rest of them. And if he wants to keep his fat sausage fingers attached to his hands and not get them nailed to the front of Buckingham Palace, he really needs to watch what he's doing. Because even people like me, 25 years a monarchist, at this point I'll take a knee and watch out. The people aren't going to rise to defend Charles at this point. If Charles and Horseface got pulled out the palace by a gang of angry communists, I'd have been the first to stop them 10 years ago, but not now. Not now. I mean, again, you can't advocate violence, and I wouldn't advocate that. I'm not there yet. I'm not an outright hateful communist with a burning torch, but I'm definitely ambivalent at this point. If
Yeah.
100,000 foreigners and commies formed an angry mob and started pulling Buckingham Palace down, at this point I'd probably just laugh about it. You know what I mean? 10 years ago I'd have put a stop to it, and I waded into the melee, loving life, dishing out the beats to the commies and the foreign chancers. But at this point I'd take a knee. I don't care anymore.
It's funny because I did a video and I'm shocked. My videos usually get a lot of exposure. And then I did a video about Fergie and taking her to her kids, that she took. Can you believe that this woman, well, I'm sure you can because I don't know if you've seen it, but she took her daughters to celebrate with Andrew.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, to celebrate the release of Epstein.
Uh-huh.
She took her daughters to celebrate with him.
I did see that. I did see that. Like I said, I don't follow it as much as you, but I did see that. I read it. Didn't they leak some letters where she sent a groveling letter to him? Saying, oh, I've always been your best pal, Jeffrey.
No, not only that, they leaked emails when Jeffrey Epstein is saying that he's fed up of supporting her for 15 years.
Just parasites, aren't
Can
they?
you imagine asking somebody, "Oh, can you give me 50 or 100,000 for my small bills?" Who the hell has $100,000 in small bills?
I know. The other thing is, as well, I've always said this to my channel followers. I always tell them, like, you should really try and embrace the Spartan lifestyle. Like, not have any expensive hobbies. Don't get a taste for fine wine or champagne. Like, all the things, again.
Wine tasting, buddy, all over.
No. Yeah, but I like box wine. I was joking about that last time I was at the winery. They were like, do you want another bottle? And I was like, no, it's a bit expensive. I've got a box of cheap shit I can drink at home. Like, you've got to get into it, because I honestly think it's all linked. I've totally gone on the deep end with all the conspiracy things. The last 10 years has demanded it of me.
Thing that they created this thing is called conspiracy theories, rather than people just giving their opinions and theorizing about something. Not everything is a conspiracy. You know what I mean?
No, but you know what I'm saying?
Conspiracy, because it goes against, and oddly enough, all of my videos have been on point, and I was called like, oh, she's lying, a conspiracy. Nobody's talking about it. I said that Fergie was more involved with Epstein than everybody. Oh, you're just a hater. Why now? Like, this woman is a leech. This woman is evil.
Yeah, we're all conspiracy theorists now, are we? All of us.
Get this, Matt. Jeffrey Epstein was trying to give Fergie lessons in decorum because she asked him for 50 or 100,000, and he said, "I can't because I'm under investigation and they're looking at my finances." And then she goes, "Can you ask Giuseppe?" Giuseppe, apparently, Cipriani is the owner of Cipriani Restaurants, right? And Jeffrey Epstein had the wherewithal to say, "You know what? That is poor taste."
Yeah, yeah, he's got more taste than her.
Give her a hint of what you're doing is.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
When you're getting,
this is what I'm saying. I honestly think they do it on purpose. That's why, like, advertising's so ubiquitous. They love it in America. Everywhere you go, there's adverts. That's why it was on, like, They Live. Like, they want you. The things that they tell you that you should like, you shouldn't like. Newsom, I always say about Newsom's got a winery. Well, that's enough to put me off wine. You're all right. I'll drink beer. Like, I wouldn't give a rat like that a penny of my money. And they want you to be a hopeless loser, addicted. They don't want you to do any exercise. They want you to... Because this is what they've told everyone, and the normies get into it. It's like, oh, if you've got some money, you should do what the rappers do. Like, oh, yeah, they're throwing money back. You should go to a fancy restaurant and drop $1,000 on a bottle of champagne. They all do that, don't they? Oh, look at me, I've spent $2,000 on a bottle. Well, then you're a wanker. I could afford a $2,000 bottle of champagne. I've worked for 25 years.
Second drink, I don't feel the difference.
I drink piss. If I could have a bottle of $1,000 champagne or 50 cans of special brew, I'd take the latter. It's like, you've got to immunize yourself against this, because then you become like, they say no man is an island. If you embrace the Spartan lifestyle, you can be an island. And this is what I'm telling you. Fergie being a creature, the creature is always for sale to the highest bidder. If you embrace that sort of mentality, you're impossible to buy. I've said this before, I am impossible to buy. I'm putting the advert out there for anyone who wants to see it. If some globalist pedo wants to send me an email and say, "Matt, I'll give you £10 million if you suck me off," or whatever it is they do, I'll be like, no,
pounds, 10
No,
million pounds, buddy. You wouldn't think about it.
no.
That wouldn't cross your mind.
I joked about it in the past. I joked about it in
I
the
agree with
past,
you,
but
'cause that,
but you know what I'm saying? You're immune to them. You're immune to them. There's
yeah,
nothing Epstein could offer me.
that is exactly the point I was getting at. That there's a saying in Spanish that Charles has such a long tail to people can step on that he can't act decisively because he's worried what might come out against him. The Queen didn't care. Charles has a very house made out of very thin glass. The
Yeah,
Queen had a fortress like Windsor. Oh, throw it at me, buddy. Like I can see the Queen like a catcher, like in baseball. What are you gonna throw me next? You know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
the Queen had no fear. Well, I want to thank Find Your Way band. You would do it for a Yorkshire tea. That's for you, Matt. It's super chat. Thank you, guys.
I believe he's alluding to the fact that he thinks I'd notch someone off for a box of Yorkshire tea. Well, maybe, but as long as they weren't a foreign sex offender or a globalist sociopath. The point I'm getting at is, you know all that's true as well. You know it's all true. You don't need to see the evidence. British politicians and the ruling classes are the lowest of the low. They're the worst of us, and they'll sell their own country down the river for money. They're all doing it. They'll sell their own people down the river for money, and that wouldn't happen with working class people who know the value of family and friendship and camaraderie, rather than just seeing the whole world as coin. These scumbag politicians who care only. I mean, this is the root cause of the rot. That's all politicians have ever cared about is coin. I remember reading about this years ago. Like, you tell a politician about the cost, the human cost. They don't understand what you're talking about. They're like, coin. They think you're talking about money all the time. We're not against immigration because, money. That's just part of the argument. Well, the main reason we're against mass immigration is because we want to maintain the trees whose shades we'll never sit in. It's ludicrous. The number one reason people are enraged about it is because they want to conserve. That's what the conservative movement, the name comes from. Conserve that which was bequeathed to you by your forebears. I'm not super, super pissed off because of the money. I'm pissed off because children now, English children, will not get to have a childhood like the one I had. It's disappeared forever. And that's why everybody's angry. It's about hearth and home, not money. But these scumbag, ratbag, shit-sucking politicians don't even understand where you're coming from. People like David Lammy, he doesn't know what it's like to have a normal childhood because he's a creature of the state.
It's terrible. And I got to tell you, this is for people to understand that they try to soften it. Oh, in practice, but not by law. It says that the current counselors of state, and right now Charles Israel Letters Patton, leaving his counselors of state to act on his behalf are, this is because it was updated, the royal website was updated, the Prince of Wales, the Princess Royal, the Duke of Edinburgh, the Duke of Sussex, Prince Andrew, and Princess Beatrice. Now, it says that in practice, but unfortunately, law beats practice because by law, counselors of state include the sovereign spouse and the next four people in the line of succession.
Yeah. Well, again, though, to me, though, this is still just words on a page. This is what I mean about this type of thing. The lawfare, the politicians will talk about. Some guy will jump the bones of a 10-year-old girl over here, and everyone goes, deport him, and they go, oh, we can't. It's the law.
His
Who
rights.
cares about the law?
His rights. Why
Who cares
doesn't
about? Oh, we can't.
I
Yeah,
don't
we can't. All that's just words on a page. If the people are behind you, your sovereign nation, you can do as you please. They always do it now. Oh, he might have fiddled with the kids, but he's, the EHCR, the European Court of Human Rights says you can't get rid of him. What do you mean you can't? Can't doesn't matter. Might makes right. Someone might say, oh, you can't come into my house. If I've got a sledgehammer and I'm very, very angry, I'm coming in your house. Doesn't matter what you say, doesn't matter what the law has to say about it. All that matters is the physical ability to do something. They have these words on a page. Oh, we can't get rid of Prince Andrew because there's some words on a page. I couldn't give a flying shite about words on a page.
And they could do it really
not
quick.
an argument. Because have you noticed, this is what I'm saying about the lawfare. That's always their argument. Some monstrous creature, Eritrean, kills some young woman in Germany. It happened yesterday. Did you hear about it? Yeah, yesterday there
No,
was
what happened
an
yesterday?
18-year-old lass in Sweden got violently sexually
Oh,
assaulted,
that girl, yes, and they
and they
wanted
won't deport him. They said,
because
"Oh,
it
we
wasn't
we
violent
can't."
or something like that.
No, it was only short. So I was like, only short. So I'm good.
Well,
I've got premature
what do you mean it was only
ejaculation.
short? What do you mean by that?
They said it was a short sexual attack, so it wasn't as serious as it could be. So they're
No.
not going to deport him for violently sexual. I don't like saying the R word. You get in trouble
Is
on
it
YouTube
really? Is
for
that the
violently jumping the bones. That
so
was their argument.
how long must it be for it to be considered a crime?
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. I've got premature ejaculation. Does that mean I can just donkey one into anyone I like? It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm a two pump squirt type of guy. That means I can't break the law. It's impossible. It's ridiculous. And this is what I'm saying. The people don't care what the law says. Power to the people. The people don't care what the law says. To 98% of the people, so everyone who's not a globalist sociopath, if you see an Eritrean do that to an 18-year-old girl, nobody cares about the law. The law and all these documents and these pieces of paper, they're only worth something when your civilization's functioning correctly because we all play by the rules. It's not functioning correctly when little girls are getting murdered and the state is protecting the people that killed them. So I don't care about the law. I love arguing with lefties now because they go, the law. And I'm like, what? You mean a bit of paper we're writing on?
Matt, weren't you a lefty? A little bit of a lefty?
At my heart, I still technically am, right? At my heart, I am. I've got no truck with people being abusive to the LGBT community. I've got no time in being a collectivist. Even though I'm like 80% of an ethnat these days. I've talked about that. I'm all for deporting millions and millions of people from Europe, but I'm still not a radical collectivist. So my point is, I'm still a bit of a lefty in that respect. I'm a libertarian. I don't think it's acceptable to paint with broad brushes. All had a lot of conversations lately with very, very right-wing sort of ethnat types. And I do disagree with them on that one thing. I'm not a radical collectivist and I never will be. But when you're talking about criminality, well, then you're not being a collectivist. I'm not saying every single person that has a bit of a tan should be deported from Europe. I'm saying it can be intelligence led. Every single person who commits a crime, every single person who hasn't contributed to the national to uplifting the nation, every single person that's been a parasite since they entered the UK, lived in a council flat and sucked money out the public coffers, get rid of them. So I'm not doing it by ethnicity or colour or creed. I'm doing it by, this is an intelligence-led operation. But I'm telling you, nobody cares what the law has to say when a foreign man ends a young girl's life or gives her a very, very unpleasant 7-inch surprise on a Saturday night in an alley. People have had enough of this shit, and I don't care what arguments they want to use.
That's true. And one of the things that the reason why I'm so fascinated by this thing with Andrews and the king's response and the parliament, because this is the thing that people don't get. Parliament are the lawmakers. They're the ones who make the laws. So they have, and this is a constitutional monarchy. So they've had sway over the monarchy because parliament determines who sits in the throne, and they can remove a king or a monarch for not following or doing the best for the country, right?
Yeah.
We have that. So it has exposed parliament's complicit in all of this, Matt, because and I had Norman Baker, who was a former privy counsel to the Queen and MP as well. And he's like, yeah, parliament can do a hell of a lot, but they choose not to because they're all complicit in all of this. And people are fed up. You know what I think of people like me? I get angry. I'm upset because it's like that picture of a Camilla. There is absolutely no way on earth that people are saying, oh, she looks so lovely. She's beautiful. I mean, this is the levels of gaslighting, and it has nothing to do with my dislike for the woman. It has to do with the fact that she doesn't look beautiful. She doesn't look lovely. She looks horrible. And that thorny thing in her head, it's like the devil. But people say, oh my God, she looks lovely. And when you point out, no, she doesn't look lovely. Oh, you're attacking her looks. No, what is this woman doing in the Catholic Church to begin with? She is under the Catholic Church teachings an adulterer because she's officially still married under the eyes of the Catholic Church law. married to Andrew Parker Bowles.
I'm laughing so much because honestly, like, I've stumbled upon something that I'm going to use in my upcoming videos because honestly, it's funny to me. I've used so many like complex political examples to try and explain the phenomena of the woke sociopaths where they don't live in the real world. And I'll use, boring examples like economics or crime statistics and stuff like that, where it's wishful thinking, They cannot engage with the world as it is. So I've used all these different complex examples, but your example's better than any of them because it's right in your face. They'll see a horse face, shriveled up husk of a woman with a fucking head like a walnut with a face drawn on it, and they'll say, she's beautiful.
Lovely. She looks lovely.
Cindy Crawford was beautiful, right? That thing is definitely not. So that's what I'm talking about, but they'll convince themselves this is true. I mean, you've seen all these viral videos where there's these birds looking at like full-on 400-pound, 25-stone heifer lumps, right? A woman with more chins than the Chinese phone book and an arse like the back end of a double-decker bus. And they'll go, she's beautiful, because they don't live in reality. Like, they live in an alternative plane. And that is showing people calling that beautiful.
Lovely. They said that she looked lovely. And with entering the church of the Catholic, the Vatican, with that head of thorns, it's like a spitting in the face of all the Catholics because that looks like thorns. It's like,
lovely.
Here, you can get away with it. Like, and this is what bothers me. It's not what, even if I like the woman, I cannot look at this picture and say she looks beautiful. She's not a beautiful woman. She's never been an attractive woman.
No shit. Again, this wouldn't even be a conversation in the 90s and the 90s. It's only in the last 10 years when this woke thing, like I said, it's all linked. They live in this delusion where the world can be whatever you make it. And this is what I'm saying about it's baked into the left-wing ideology. The world is what you make it. The human is a blank slate. The man can be a woman despite the fact he's got a 10-incher on the slack. The woman can be a man despite the fact he's got a cracking set of threepenny bits. They're living in an alternative reality where they genuinely believe if you say it enough times, then it's definitely true. And that's why it's laugh out loud funny to normal people.
Like when you compare her to Princess Diana, you can look at this lady and say, she's beautiful. This is when she visited the Vatican.
Objectively so. Forget
that we know who they are. Forget that we know who they are. They show you this picture, you say, what a beautiful woman, right? What a gorgeous lady, right? And then they show you this picture.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean, Matt? I mean, at this point in time, and when people, and they attack you because you don't agree that she's drop dead gorgeous. She looks beautiful. She looks lovely. It's naked.
Like I said, I've made videos about this before, so because I love all this type of stuff. This is evolutionary biology in action, right? So because the commies don't, they all talk about science all the time, because like so many hypocrites, the reason they talk about it all the time is because they don't believe in it, right? So they love to say, oh, science, 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 while they're peddling fake science. One irrefutable fact of science is that human desirability comes from our evolution, right? We like symmetrical features. It's obvious. If you show 900,000 men a picture of Cindy Crawford and 900,000 men a picture of Camilla Parker Horseface, 900,000 men. All right, there might be a few deviants. Let's say there'll be a 0.05% of them will be mentally unwell. But the 99.99% of people will pick Cindy Crawford. And the woke, being mentally ill, have to say, oh, it's because of conditioning by the state. The state tells you it's a social construct. The state has told you what you find attractive. But it's not. It's hard science, because we're apes and we view things that look healthy as being attractive. So a really fit, athletic woman, like one of them sexy pole vaulters you see, or one of those Sports Illustrated girls, looks attractive. And a big, fat, 350-pound heifer lump with a head like a melted welly doesn't look attractive. But these lunatics think if you just tell people often enough, Oh, Lizzo's gorgeous. Lizzo's a 9 out of 10.
Oh,
I
oh, and
think you believe it.
man, did you see that there was this swimmer just today? I think it came out. Like he's a bloke, but he wasn't the female swimming thing. He was, I think, luckily he was disqualified.
Right.
It was like swimming out of the ocean or something like that because it's like, and it's like, oh, the trans athlete was disqualified because, and when you look at that, I thought it was like a men's swimming competition. It turns out it's in the female competition, so it's still happening, Matt. And it's
Yeah,
like accept the men.
this will make you laugh because you won't have heard of it not being English. Have you ever heard of a TV show called The Terrorhawks?
No,
I always call Camilla Parker Bowles and who else looks like her? That bird who tried to get Brexit turned over, Anna Soubry in the UK. But I'll share the picture. Look,
yes, it
tell
is.
me that's not. Tell me that's not the spitting double of Camilla Parker Bowles.
I'm trying to add it.
I thought I've shared it there. It should
Yeah,
be
yeah,
on
yeah.
there.
Oh wait, I'm gonna have to remove this other stuff. Okay, here, I'll share there. Oh my!
There you go. That's uncanny, that, isn't it? Put a black hat. Put a black hat on that. There you go. Easy. So that's good.
That is too funny, man. Thank God I wasn't drinking anything because I would have spat it out.
It's uncanny. Yeah. But she's a looker. She's a 10 out of 10 because an insane brain dead communist says so. Yeah, cheers then. Yeah. As if you'd climb over Cindy Crawford to get the Camilla Parker Bowles. You're having a laugh, aren't you?
But that's the thing. It has nothing to do with the looks. It's how the press reports on it and how some of the YouTubers get angry with me because I posted this. I posted that picture and said one word.
Yeah.
Some people are really angry with me because, I mean,
Yeah.
even if you don't know the
Sydney
woman,
Sweeney's a 4 out of 10, but Camilla Parker Bowles, yeah, she gets
10
me
out of
hot.
10.
Ridiculous.
It's
Crazy time to be
terrible.
alive.
But before we go, I just wanted to ask you because you're going to the UK. We've been to the UK, right?
Yeah, I'm going in again in December.
Aren't you worried? Because let me tell you, I have friends that are in the UK who don't want to come because or give interviews or talk about what's going on in the UK because they're worried that they're going to end up in jail. And buddy, you're going there.
Yeah, no, you're saying that like I don't know this. Aren't you worried? Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm hoping that my American citizenship will save me because if I fly on, but I'm showing you. This is again. I shouldn't even need to do this, but this shows that we're living in an authoritarian hellscape, right? I'm flying home, but I never use my British passport to fly anymore. I only use my American passport. Now, a man who served his country and was born and raised and lived the first 35 years of his life in the UK shouldn't have to fly on a foreign passport because he makes crass jokes about British politicians. But this is where we're at. Because I refuse to use their given names, it's like a game on my channel. If I use the full given name, I have to play a clip. It's like a forfeit. Because they just insult us all the time. They call us Nazis and fascists and slur us constantly. So my crack is, well, I'm a juvenile northern sort of comedy type YouTuber, so I'm going to do the same, and I only ever insult them, and that's why the old picture of Zelda from Terrorhawks shows up quite frequently, and that's why I have crass insults for them all, because they insult us every day of the week, so I'm doing the same. I'm just giving them the exactly the same treatment. But I'm genuinely concerned that I will get arrested. Because I keep calling Keir Starmer an androgynous android closeted homosexual, or I keep calling Angela Rayner Ginger Growler, Gobble Queen. I keep calling them names because that's all they're worthy of: contempt and scorn and juvenile schoolyard taunts. Because that's what they give us 7 days a week. So yeah, I am concerned about it. I fly on my US passport. I pay for a visa. You have to give them like 20 quid or whatever it is. I've got a British passport, served my country for 10 years, and I pay for a visa and I fly on a US passport. And I hope that that's enough. Yeah, and everyone who knows, no one's watching this going, oh, he's paranoid. They're all watching this going, yeah, sensible, that's what I do.
People are saying to you, stay safe.
Yeah, because the UK is an authoritarian shithole.
This is worse than when you went to war. You were you weren't that terrified of being caught by the Taliban than being caught by Chris Stammer.
I honestly don't care though. I'm a bootneck at the end of the day. If I go home and they lock me up, then lock me up. I don't care. I'll be the daddy in prison. At least I'll be daddy in the cells. Have you heard that joke?
No.
That's a good joke. Like a little scrawny accountant goes into prison. He gets done for like a white collar crime. He's been defrauding people. He walks into prison and he's in there, this massive black geezer, and he goes, "Oh no!" And the black man says to him, "We're gonna play families. Do you want to be the mummy or the daddy?" And the accountant goes, "Oh, I'll definitely be the daddy." And he goes, "Come suck mummy's cock." That's like that's a granddad joke in the UK. But yeah, I'll be the daddy. I'll be the daddy in prison.
Oh my,
So yeah, it'll be fine.
it's incredible how long you're going to be in the UK for.
Like nearly 3 weeks. I'm going for an extended trip. Yeah,
Wow. Well, if they arrest you, it'll be longer. I'll be flying to see you, buddy.
yeah. You can come bring me some jammy dodgers in prison, will you?
Marmite.
Yeah, I won't be short of oral sex because I'll be in charge, but I'll probably want some jammy dodgers.
That is so terrible. And oh, but what made you go? Your family's still there, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. My friends and family haven't been back for a year, so yeah,
Are
that's it.
you going with the missus? I'm sure you are.
She is, yeah, but she's not staying quite as long as me because she's got less holiday. So I'm going back. She's going to leave after like 10 days, and I'm sticking around for a bit.
No, I hope you're safe, but no, you don't stay too long. But I'm just shocked at what's going on with Stammer claiming that Keir Stammer, that there is freedom of speech. Like what? And people are terrified. My friends are terrified. I said, why don't you come and we got no, no, no. We're not talking about it because the next day I'll be getting some police people. I'll be in the news being arrested.
Yeah, well, 12,000 a year. We arrest more people for jokes online than China and Russia combined. And yeah, if anyone argues, we send them my way. 35 years, born and raised, 10 years in the military, and I now fly on an American passport and pay for a visa because I'm that worried about getting arrested just because I called the deputy prime minister a hooer.
This is from experience. Even if you fly in your American passport, when you land in the UK, you are a British citizen unless you renunciate your. I know this for a fact. Okay?
Honestly, I'd do that. But it's the principle of the matter. After 10 years, I've got a decent amount of a military pension that's due to be paid out to me when I'm like 55. And I want it. Because if we're going to give 20 billion a year to Somalian pirates, I think I'm entitled to £2,000 a year off the government. Yeah. So that's the only thing that stopped me renouncing my citizenship.
Well, anyways, thank you for coming, Matt. And I'm not going to keep it long. Next time, I want to talk to you I thought we could get in and talk about a little bit more about the UK, because there's so many things that are going on. We'll do it in the speaker's corner one, or you can have me over, but you can come on the speaker corner because I do want to talk a lot. There's so many things going on in the UK right now, and I do hope people stay safe over there. And isn't it a sad thing to be asking people in the United Kingdom to stay safe?
Yeah, yeah, but everyone's seen the numbers. It's not a safe place to live anymore. If I was still living there, I wouldn't let my wife go do the shopping if she wasn't wearing like a chastity
belt. Isn't that horrible? Matt, did you see this man who punched this woman who was just walking? And because
so what happens?
Nothing happened to him. Nothing. What happened to the guy who killed that Ukrainian girl in the subway?
Probably got 6 months and a fine. It's a crazy state of affairs, isn't it? The world's gone mad. The woke sociopaths are running it, and the worm will turn eventually, but it's going to be rough until it does. Guys, right, I'm off anyway, Paula. I've got a movie. All right, thanks for having me. I'll put my channel in the link as well, and I'll see you in a few weeks, no doubt.
Of course.
See you later.
Bye-bye, guys.
Take it easy.
Please, guys, yes. Please go subscribe to Matt. You can go, Matt. Don't worry. Yeah, go subscribe to Matt's channel. I've been sharing it here, so please go subscribe. Oh no, I haven't. I don't have it here yet. Let me share it so you can go share it. It's Matt the Angry Bootnik. Please go subscribe to him, and don't forget to buy a raffle ticket. And here's Matt's channel. Let's get him to 100K subscribers, guys. He's got amazing content, so please go subscribe. He's a former Royal Marine. He's an engineer. He's amazing. And he's a lot of fun. So I hope you understand that we're doing this here to talk about things and discuss, because to me, I don't like to be gaslit at all. I feel uncomfortable. Things are not right, and I feel terrible. Oh, hi, Ginger Gruzius. Hello. I hope your mom is okay. Thank you guys very much. And yeah, go subscribe to Matt. The world is going insane. The world is going insane. And they're basically the inmates are taking over, or, the patients are running the asylum pretty much. And the same people are being told you're insane. So let's get into this. And Thank you very much. Your support is always appreciated. And don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, and go, of course, subscribe to Matt's channel. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I'll be putting a video later on about Meghan's serial cheating. I don't understand how this woman or the people who were with her did not get an STD, because apparently she liked unsafe sex. So let's get into this today, beautiful people. Have a great day.